up, everybody?
Yo, we are live on your X, and it is working great.
Let's go. What's up, everybody from X right now? I haven't posted on the channel right now, but what's up, everybody? Yeah, usually we do these streams on the Bridge 3 Lab page for the last 8 months, but we're doing it on my page for the first time. Same show, same great everything, just on a different page. Super excited about this one. I think it's a super timely one that I think a lot of people will hopefully find value from today. The last few streams, but again today we have my boy uh, Max Crypto on. For those of you guys who haven't had the pleasure to hear this guy speak on the streams, you're in for a treat. He has four decades of traditional finance experience at a high level. I won't go into too much detail, but this guy has been on a lot of the biggest publications in the world, like giving his takes. So we're really blessed to have him. Today we're going to talk about a lot of important stuff: tariffs, the crypto summit. Like I said, Max has 4 decades of experience, so he has traded through all the biggest crises of the last 40 years with the dot-com bubble, 2008, COVID. So he really gives us a lot of insight on how, compares to those, and really why now is not the time to panic. So I'm stoked to get into the show. Usually the way, let me make sure it's posted in the channel. We're good to go. Okay, cool. Usually the way we do these streams that we started out is my boy Rhodes here will do the Rhodes review, where we'll go over a little bit that of stuff that went over on the week, and then as well as we really want to make the show interactive. So definitely we'll be looking at the chat. I do see Rojam already in there. What's up, brother? Um, but yeah, with that, Rhodes, you want to go ahead and pull up the Rhodes?
I can't hear him.
Yeah, Rhodes. I don't know if you're muted, brother.
I am talking on mute.
Oh, you're
It's
good.
very
You're good.
effective if you don't want to be heard. Yeah, so the last week or so has been quite eventful when it comes to everything going on in terms of crypto, macro, etc. Really seeing some pretty good volatility, both positive and negative, when it comes to Bitcoin. It's currently in and around. Actually, it's now down about 88K. It was 90K as of yesterday. The Bitcoin Strategic Reserve got announced. Executive order. I mean, I already thought this had happened. It's kind of that extent, and I think the market kind of took it as this is not necessarily the U.S. government buying more Bitcoin. However, just protecting the assets that they currently hold. We'll see how that plays out over time and whether or not they do become buyers of Bitcoin and accumulate. Now, of course, the state level, that continues to progress, and at the state level, they will buy. So either way, Bitcoin becoming an important part of the U.S. Reserves will push both businesses and other nations to acquire. So mid long term, this is excellent for crypto and Bitcoin in general. North American tariffs have been delayed another 30 days. Something I think is important, again, on the macro side of things, where it helps ease some of the uncertainty and chaos that is perceived when it comes to a lot of the actions that are taking place, the kind of moves and negotiations and posturing that's going forth that makes for additional volatility. Coinbase is working on tokenized stocks. AI market cap is now down another 10% to 4.86 billion. Kind of the lowest level I've had on here since adding it into this section. NFTs volume themselves, again, also quite low, lowest they've been in several months. On the ETH side of things, we did see a bit of a surge on Punk sales. And I've moved it over to weekly movers now when it comes to NFTs, because they've been pretty quiet on the daily. When we look at weekly, though, for Organa on Solana is up 69% to 1.32 Sol. VFriends up 28%. Previously up about almost 40, 50% prior to today over the last week. So they've rallied quite nicely, and Kenpai Pandas continues to move up 55% on the week. So there's a few pockets of movement, but overall, we're looking at NFTs in this kind of slow bleed kind of phase, and just kind of feeling out the market.
Yeah, just kind of waiting
Meme
on a
coin,
catalyst, right? Like we've been.
yeah, you're 100% right there. Waiting on the catalyst. I think you've nailed it on kind of chasing quality operators and putting your faith in those bags as where the moves can happen. Of course, you're selling into volume, and it's these like Bitcoin where it only moves up 8 to 14 days in a year where it has most of its gains. NFTs are very similar to that, where you're
Real
going to
quick,
get
before
these.
you go into the meme coin section, I do see already 300 people have already come on here. If you guys are just coming on, welcome. We're just going over a quick review with my boy Rotes here. Right after, we're going to get on with my boy Max and go over everything going on with the tariffs, crypto summit. We'll be looking at the crypto majors where we think they might be going in the short of the midterm, and then memes and all that. So welcome, Rotes. You want to go ahead and sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, welcome everyone. Meme coins again, also on the weekly. Weekly, just to find some positive meme coins outside of the pockets of new coins, etc., where you see these offshoots. But like when you're looking at the established ones here, we're very few that are up over the week. Of course, it has been a volatile, rough week in general, so to be expected. Doge up 1.1% on the week, down 0.4% on the 24 hours. Brett up 7% on the week, down 4.7% on the 24 hours. Again, the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve announcement was a sell the news event, and Integra Bitcoin up 1.9% on the week, and then down just slightly on the 24 hours. Prediction markets. These are interesting. Also, kind of swinging pretty volatile. So as of yesterday, 110K was at 19% probability. It's now swung down to 12%. Of course, that was all just dependent on whether or not the market got sent today for the crypto conference. And then 70K is up 4% to 20% probability. So still some bears in the room as well. So that's the update. Looking forward to Max's take and everything else that we cover.
Awesome. And we already have 426 people in here with 10 minutes in the stream. That's amazing. That's it's crazy, guys. Thank you guys so much for being on here. I am seeing your guys' chat. What's up, Sold the Dip? I see you, brother. Pythia. We'll definitely look at some memes after we go over some other stuff. Renry, what's up, bro? Yo, yo, yo. How you doing? Crypto Envy says, sup, mad hearts today. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Umber Boy says, my speculation is that kangaroo season will end soon, that we'll get in full bull season. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Papa Chetetto, I always butcher your name. Always good to see you, bro. Dr. Duck, what's up, man? So 450 people already on here. We do want to get into right now. We'll get into the memes, majors, all that. But I want to talk with my boy Max here about what's going on with a few things. Because like I said, Max has been in the game for a long time. He's been through these different crises. He's been on a bunch of streams with me lately. Him and I have probably done 10 or 15 between probably 10 between here and the Telegram channel. So I, he has a lot to say about this different stuff. So I want to start with the tariffs. Max, I know that's probably the most confusing thing for anybody right now, whether you've been in the market for a couple years, long time. Can you kind of tell us a little bit from your take, like what's going on with the tariffs? What is Trump's goal? What is he trying to do? And what do you see it doing to risk assets in crypto over the next few years? Will be a good thing. We'll have a positive outcome. Can you kind of give your take on that?
Yeah, I think the way to give yourself a good lesson on tariffs is go back to the first go round with Trump. recall that 2019, we spent, any number of hours a day being told how the world was going to be destroyed as we knew it because of the China tariff war. I think they gave us updates every, 83 seconds for an entire year. And every update got worse, and our future was bleak. Um, Obviously, none of that turned out to be correct. And the horrible tariff war that everyone was certain was going to be bad never actually ended. The Biden administration did not take off the China tariffs. So you can kind of say to yourself, am I really going to buy into this garbage a second time around when the first tariffs never got removed from China and it sure didn't do anything bad to our economy? In fact, it probably hurt China way more than it hurt us. So, people in the money business will tell you that tariffs are being used to beat the crap out of our competitors because for the past 50 years, our competitors have abused us. And the United States has sort of laid down and taken it for the benefit of the world. I don't think that's going to be the case, at least for the next 4 years. I think it's very, very clear that this administration is going to put America first. And what you will find after a quarter or two of sloppiness is the rest of the world will fall in order. And they can't afford to have a tariff war. There is no country on earth that is prepared to have a tariff war any better than the United States. And since we hold the strong hand, you just have to accept that this is the way big business is done on a global scale. You can't be a baby about it and be chagrined that wow, the market's going down for a month when you're talking about putting the United States in a first class position for decades to come. I mean, what do you expect? We got to all kind of act like big boys and put on our big boy pants and be strong because in the end, we're going to win and we're going to win big.
Okay, for sure. So you think it's kind of just like ripping off the Band-Aid?
Max, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. Why now? What makes it the good time at 2025 to increase tariffs when, like you said, we've been taken advantage of for however many years?
Why now? That's a great question. Because Donald Trump got elected. And Donald Trump spent his first 4 years with that goal. His goal was to put America first. And as we've all unfortunately learned after 4 years of Biden, what the system did to Donald Trump for 4 years while he was in power and then 4 years while he was on hold is disgraceful. We're going to learn more and more of that. But now what we've got is a situation where he only has 4 years. So we don't have a politician that has wanted to put America first. So it's not about why now, it's about who, not why now.
Right on. Makes sense. I've seen in the chat, what's up, Meadows? What's up, Umber Boy? Umber Boy says Trump did have to do his hard decision. CZ last government. Yeah. What's up, Cody? What's up, Ethlone? I see you guys. What's up, Dylan? So yeah, great. Thanks. Do you mind muting your mic, brother? So yeah, it makes sense for the tariffs. That makes sense. I think that's what a lot of people are really confused about. What's Trump's objective with everything? So that makes sense.
There's also something to be. And again, this is going to sound political, but it's not. I've been communicating with the public for an awful long time, and we have become very soft, America didn't used to operate this way. America was the sheriff in town, and if you fucked around with us, you paid for it. Um, you know, and then we got Obama to come in, and Obama, like it or not, actually said he is on record as saying that you can't kill terrorists, you got to talk to them. So that foolishness went on for 8 years, and then the entire system got interrupted by Trump, and they buried him. And then we got this idiot Biden for 4 years, who brought in, DEI and men and women's sports, and we had guys in the Pentagon wearing dresses. I mean, it's just absolutely friggin' absurd. So, so that mental illness first has to get out of the system. And that's what we're watching right now. You're watching a cleansing of the process, and like it or not, it is a sickness. And to rid the process from the system is not going to be pretty. But getting back to the part where America is the sheriff in town, the world is going to be a better place. Look at what happened over the last 15 years when America stopped being the sheriff in town. Look what happened around the planet. You had complete chaos in multiple areas of the world.
Yeah.
It does not work. Look, this is a nasty, nasty business. The world is full of nasty people, nasty forces, people that do not care about you and I, and they just as soon kill us.
Yeah.
And that's a reality. And I think what happened is this soft DEI, let's be fair to everybody. Hey, if you think you're a girl and you're really a guy, that's okay. You can wear dresses. That kind of shit is poisonous to a system.
For sure. And I that definitely valid. Without going too much into it, I do want to
Yeah, sorry.
with the tariff, no, definitely valid points. And I can see how.
But that's why you're watching the choppiness today, because you got to shift that out is going to take a little bit of messiness, and then it's going to be over.
Yeah, makes sense. Now I want to move on to the crypto summit. I
Yeah.
think for a lot of people as well, it's another thing that a lot of people have like kind of no idea how it's going to go down. For these kind of summits in general, I know we've covered this on past streams, but what do you expect to come of it? I know a lot of people probably are kind of expecting some huge like blow off top news that's going to send it to 110K. I think we talked about that yesterday, that it's very unlikely for something like that to happen. What do you expect to come from this summit? More just signaling and talking about how they plan to legislate, or what do you really expect from the crypto summit, Max?
Well, first of all, I think they should have never made it public.
Yeah.
Because what it did is what we're watching right now. Crypto Twitter is all a flitter about what every single breath means, what every syllable of every word mentioned means, like they know. They don't know. And honestly, you have a situation where there's going to be a deliberate effort to not tell you what's going on. Because look, in the headlines this morning, now that it's been made public that a reserve has been signed, what's the first thing you read? China is now meeting behind closed doors to get in the arms race of Bitcoin. Well, that's not what you wanted. So I think you've got to accept that what you would prefer to have happen in the interest of the United States and in the interest of Bitcoin and the interest of cryptocurrency upside in the future is you would rather have it not public. You would rather have it mentioned afterwards. And what that demands is being patient and not thinking for a millisecond that you know what's going to happen. Look, I've been, and granted, this is stocks, not crypto for a second, but I've listened to quote experts for 43 years try to tell you what the future is going to be, and what they're really doing is guessing. So anybody who tries to say, well, I think this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is what's going to happen next, and if it'll close, at X dollars, it's going to immediately shoot to Y dollars. Look, all you're really doing is guessing, and that's not a productive process. The upside is obvious. Choppiness is required. It is a part of the deal. I think I posted this morning, you got 21 million Bitcoins. After states buy it, countries buy it, strategic reserves buy it, sovereign wealth funds buy it, billionaires buy it, millionaires buy it, banks buy it, family offices buy it. After all those people buy it, how many of those 21 million do you think are going to be left?
Nothing.
Zero. None. So
Awesome.
wondering what's going to happen at a crypto summit in a 24-hour period is the tiniest part of the story.
Yeah. Definitely makes sense. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Now, we were talking about earlier, I think another thing people are wondering about is the capital gains tax.
Yeah.
The chances of that goes away. I know you were talking about last night that we're going to get some kind of benefit for those American coins. Can you kind of reiterate your thoughts on that, the capital gains tax going away for crypto potentially?
Sure. Trump loves lower taxes and he loves American-made products. What that means is we're going to get a tax deal sometime this year. He already told you it's going to be backdated to the day he walked in office, and you can bet it'll be lower taxes. Now, I don't know any more than that, and that's just generalized thought process, but betting against that would probably be a foolish thing.
Perfect. Okay. Now, I'm just going to go over a few other things. Larry Fink says that 2025 will be a rocky year for the markets. Do you agree with that statement?
Let me tell you why Larry Fink says that. Wall Street is an inventory machine. What do I mean by that? I mean that when they run out of stuff to sell you, they tell you the market is in danger. And then the reason they tell you the market is in danger is because if they say it long enough, they'll tip you over into being afraid that the market is in danger. And you know what people do when they're afraid the market is in danger is they sell. And then if you really create fuel for that, which Wall Street is expert in, what they're doing is they're buying because they're refilling all their cupboards that are empty. And what are they refilling it with? They're refilling it with the stuff you're selling so that later on, after they're done refilling their inventory, all of their analysts will suddenly, magically say to you, hey, we think the market has actually overdone it to the downside. And we think smart investors should probably start buying. And guess what we have? We have stuff to sell you because they refilled their inventory. And by the way, that's been going on since the day I got in the business in August of 1982. And if you think anything else goes on or somehow it's by accident, then you need to study this a little bit more. And by the way, they're the very same thing in crypto. The very same thing.
So the people just like real simply, like they're able to like drum up headlines and all this stuff to move down price so they can essentially load up more. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah, I think a lot of us kind of, figure that out, but to hear that makes a lot of sense. Justin Sir said, I had today the stock market is about to crash. I don't know how true this is, but if this happens, will it take any chance affect crypto if the stock market crashes? There's a few great questions in here that I really want to touch on. Just on that front, Max, I know we've been talking about this a lot lately. A lot of people, the stocks, really doom and gloom in the stock market particularly. What are your thoughts on what's happening with the stock indexes now? And why are we not entering a full-on bear market? This just being another correction like we've seen in the past.
Well, first of all, you don't know that you're not. No one knows we're not entering a bear market.
True.
Uh, do I think we're entering a bear market? No, I think the public has become terrified of its own shadow. They do this every year or so, at least once. They scare themselves out of the market, often for absolutely no legitimate reason. We now have, I'll give you a sense, we have the investing public, by all measures of sentiment, more afraid right this minute at Dow, 40 something thousand, than they were at the bottom of the Great Recession after keyword being after a 38% bear market from August of 08 to March of 09. And by the way, that number was Dow 6,700. We are now more afraid. The public investing audience is now more afraid than they were then. Now, if someone can look at a chart and listen to that logic and think that that's a productive viewpoint, they should leave whatever they're investing in and put their money in the bank, because they are not cut out for investing, and they're a danger to themselves. It's absurd, but every bout of fear turns out to be absurd. Every panic has turned out to be the wrong thing for the public to do. And wealthy people have known for decades that they can take advantage of that. And by the way, they're doing it right now. Right now.
Now, real quickly, you want to tell them what Dow was at when you first started trading again?
901 was the close on my first Friday.
Okay, right on. So 20x ago on the Dow.
40.
Interesting.
40.
40x. Wow. Yeah, I can't do math apparently. No, that's incredible. No, that makes a lot of sense. Now, let's see here. Will be any? Okay, yeah, and then I know I think what a lot of people are really worried about in the crypto market right now, and again, we don't know 100% anything. We could enter a bear market today. I think there's a lot of reasons. The stuff we're talking about with regulatory clarity, as well as a lot of chart comparisons kind of to last corrections. I'm really big on things called corrective channels, where this type of behavior shows corrective behavior instead of these big impulses down like in past or bear markets. I think what we're seeing is another version playing out of summer 2024 correction, where we'll be in like a correction probably for 5 to 7 months, just like we were in 2023. Of course, it's going to vary. Probably it could be a couple more months, whatever. Either way, why can you, for the person I think who's really worried with all these crazy headlines and everything going on, their worst fear is that we're entering a bear market like we did in March of 2023. I'm not March. I'm sorry, November of 2021, where we're going to come down on Bitcoin 75%. Of course, that's always possible. But can you give the people like hopium on why this is probably like a correction and not a bear market top like in 2021?
Guys, the world of crypto is nothing like 2021. It's kind of like in the stock business when someone gets on CNBC and says, you know what, this is starting to look like 1964. Well, I can tell you right now, it doesn't look anything like 1964. And there's zero in our economy that's anything related to 1964. So it's absurd on its face. Now, in 2021, we did not have dozens of people telling you publicly that they want to own Bitcoin that could, by the way, buy the entire 21 million Bitcoin. No, in other words, today you could get 3 or 4 guys to meet up in New York City and say, guys, I hope the market will go down to 50 grand, because if it does, we're buying all 21 million Bitcoin. Now, nobody did that in 2021. There are 10 guys that would fight over that if you got a bear market going. What does that mean? It means it will never get going because they will do that before it got going because they don't want the other guy to get all 21 million coins. It's kind of like what Michael Saylor said the other day when someone on CNBC, as foolish as they were, said, well, Michael, everybody's suggesting that MicroStrategy can go bust given all the debt you've underwritten. Well, then he informed them rather eloquently that none of the debt is collateralized by MicroStrategy, and that if indeed Bitcoin went to $1, that would be wonderful because he would write a check himself for $21 million and buy all of them himself. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to get a grip. Let me tell you something. Emotion and fear will be the two most expensive things you ever encounter in anything you ever invest in. I don't care if it's peanuts or crypto. If you let fear affect your outlook, I promise you, you will give your money to the market.
Yeah,
I
that
promise it.
makes sense. Okay. So yeah, pretty much we're just in a completely different world now than we were in 2021.
It's entirely different.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Yeah, no, I agree. I think very unlikely again to go into a bear market in general, but even if we were to go down to like 50, that makes a ton of sense. Now, if now people who are really wondering specifics, obviously, anything could happen. You said we talked about last night that you think this correction will probably end in apathy, like it usually does, where it's just a bunch of chop. Everybody's like, bored. Usually that's how it ended in August 2024. What would you say, just for the people who like this kind of thing, what would you say like the lowest Bitcoin goes? Like probably, so you think, I think you said last night, like we probably aren't going under 70.
Yeah. First of all, I don't know.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, I think the reference last night during those talks was markets abhor gaps. And right
Yeah.
this second, there's a little bit of a gap.
That's
And it's a very strong market if it doesn't fill that gap,
Yeah.
because money knows that there's a whole bunch of stops under that gap, and you clean that out, and the market is the train is almost entirely empty. And I just have a feeling in my mind that the market likes to leave the station empty, and that gap is pretty obvious to everybody who has money.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I think the biggest overhanging theme that Max is trying to come across in these streams and all of them is to just deploy patience. The biggest, all the long term, structural things that are happening right now, like they always do, will contribute to higher prices. It's just about in the short term deploying patience and not being so obsessed and focused. This is something I battle with, being so in the crypto world, is just not being so focused on the day to day, and really just trying to zoom out and let this thing play out.
Well,
Would you say?
there's a couple of perspectives to make sure everybody has. Number one, you have to be honest with yourself. Are you a trader or are you an investor? They're very, very different things. And believe me, you cannot be both. You will drive yourself nuts and you won't succeed because you'll have conflicting perspectives, and those never work out. The other thing you sort of have to accept is it's time in the market, not timing the market.
Mm-hmm.
You must recognize that there is no easy route. This anticipatory need to have something happen quickly or rapidly, or it's got to vault to a certain price, is a disastrous game to run your mind through. You will exhaust yourself and you won't be ready when it's time. You got to take a deep breath and you got to say, look, when my antsiness takes the better of me, it's time to turn the screen off and not pay attention to it. I think we talked last night about, you've seen a bug to a flame and you know how it works out for the bug most of the time. They get too close and then they burn up. It never works out for the bug. So you'll know when you're getting there. And then finally you have to be able to separate this. Well, let me step backwards. If you're staring at a screen all day and you're reading 14 different Twitter handles and you're hearing all this crazy, 1 second it's this and the next second it's that, your brain will make you think that that's the entire world, right? That everybody thinks that way because you're so lost in the forest that you don't see the trees. And it's a mistake because remember, penetration for Bitcoin usage is 3%. 3. That means,
And that's global adoption, or what is that based again?
that's adoption, meaning, well, think of it this way. If you walk out on the street and you ask 100 people if they are active in Bitcoin or they know anything about it, 3 of them are going to tell you something legitimate, and 97 of them are going to say, don't bother me with that stuff. I got a job to do.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid that there's a whole lot of people in that 3% that think that the other 97% think the same thing.
Gotcha. So yeah, I really like that. I really like that Mac, in these streams, we're pretty much, comparing Bitcoin's price at 100K. People are like, oh, 100K, it's already up this. When you compare it to overall global adoption, I think that's really the metric of, how much upside, crypto or anything really has, right?
Yeah, you can't shortcut this. There's not and by the way, if anybody thought that when they turned on their screen the first time and opened their first wallet and deposited their first dollars, if anybody thought that, hey guys, all you got to do is grab $5,000 and buy this currency and then start trading it and swapping it for other currencies, and it's kind of straight up from there, man, start all over, because that is not the perspective that's going to help you.
For sure. And I do want to get to the comments real quick before. I want to do 2 things. Real quick reset. I'm seeing a lot of people comment on the actual stream, the actual post, which I really appreciate. Definitely, if right now, before we continue, please, if you could just retweet, like, comment, engage on the post so we can get the stream out to more people. We already have over 1,000 people. At least Twitter is weird. It doesn't have concurrent viewers, but I mean, we've had 1,000 people so far on the stream, 40 minutes in, which is absolutely amazing. I think we're going to hit our record of above 2K viewers, which is great. Again, Max, thank you so much for being on here. Max will be on here we do these streams twice a week. Friday today at 10 a.m. PST, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. PST. We're going to be doing a lot more this year with the streams, having face cams, different interviews, cool stuff for everybody. So we really appreciate you for being on. Again, we're just talking a few things about tariffs, Crypto Summit, a lot of stuff that's relevant now. We will go into some charts, memes, and all that. I do see your comments, questions, everything in the chat. We will continue to be looking at that. I do see a great comment, a great comment / question from Rojam, who is on every single one of these streams, man. I really appreciate you again. He says, Max, can you please provide a brief explanation of the difference between investing versus trading? I think people are hearing the thoughts you are talking about as it relates to longer-term investing and then taking the good parts of those comments and trying to misapply that directly to short-term trading. Part of that formula is patience, and what I hear is people are talking on crypto Twitter is to throw patience out the window and to try to come up with success. I know that was
yeah, that's a good point. Look, any anything that gives you an opportunity to build significant wealth is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. It is not designed to have a lot of people succeed. It just doesn't work that way. We've touched on this before. If you're at 3% now, on the way to 10%, a very large number of people will lose everything they try to accomplish. A very large. Why? Because of volatility. Volatility is a required part until penetration is higher, because the fact that you get a higher number on that penetration means you have a wider audience of participants. There is a mathematical equation that says the higher I go up in penetration, the broader decision making is going on and the less volatility that unfolds. Now, at the same time, what's also happening is price is rising. So as volatility lowers, penetration goes up, price will rise. That's why the latecomers will pay 7 figures for their Bitcoin shares, and the newcomers or the real pioneers paid 2 digits, right? So they took on much more risk. They decided they were going to go for the long haul, and the one that pays 7 figures is the one that could not stand any doubt, wanted, quote, a sure thing, and could not handle any volatility, and only follows the crowd. So those are the characteristics that repeat themselves over and over again. Now, the only way to get from one of those points to another is to not be a trader, because you will be consumed by volatility. And when I say you will be consumed, I don't mean every single human being, but a very large part of the people who try will fail. The
Now,
only way around it is a long-term perspective.
so I kind of think what you're getting across is that very few people make it. Just like anything in, any of these things, like you said, that create wealth. Very few people actually make in the long haul and making long term wealth. Now, what is, like, real quickly, like, some of these characteristics or something that people could focus on, to hopefully be one of those people? What is it? Time in the game, like you said, would probably be number one. Like,
Well, I heard it said this way. And by the way, I think you can buy a plaque and put it on your desk that says this. If you want to be in the 1%, then you must do everything that the 99% refuse to do. You must. It's not a choice. It's not a, well, maybe I can figure out how to do it without doing all that stuff. No, you stay in the 99%. If you want the 1%, if you want to be successful, it doesn't matter what you pick. You better be willing to do all the things that everyone else fails at. And what's the hardest thing about crypto? The hardest thing is it moves a lot, i.e., the word volatility, and it will test your patience. Well, if you're not prepared to do those things, and by the way, the 99% doesn't like either one of those things, and they have no patience. So that's why they're in the 99%.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, no, it's just like, I don't know if you saw, Max, but it was like the biggest meme or like the biggest thing on Twitter to pretty much to daily runners, or like that was the meta when everything was moving. Conditions for meme coins were good a few months ago. It was pretty much like, oh, there's no way to make money holding anything. It's just all about rotating it and being a trader. So and we saw how that played out.
For sure Kobe said the same thing before he passed.
Kobe? yeah funny.
Kobe Bryant, the fucking basketball player?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Brandon, I see you in the comments. I appreciate you, brother. Pachetto says Max is amazing. This info for free is crazy. I know, right? We're blessed to have him on. Cody. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, Cody Bryant says it's a really great space. Yeah, Yeah, Justin says I let FUD get the best of me and gave 80% of my portfolio to the market. My biggest regret. Yeah, man. Just got to learn what you can from this now. He says, guys, 15 minutes for Trump. Is he speaking in a second?
Is it the summit starting soon, or is that later today?
I think it's throughout the day, right? I don't know if you
Yeah,
know,
it's all
Max.
day. They're having various meetings all day.
Gotcha. So I do want to move into some charts and stuff a little bit here, but Max, I know we talked about it again last night too. What would you say your vision is? I know obviously people can tell you have a very optimistic view. You've been in, Ethereum since $7. What would you say your outlook for crypto is over the next, over the next 5 or 10 years? Do you think decentralized finance is going to completely take over? We're going to enter a new system. What is your outlook for crypto in general over the next, by 2030?
Yeah, money. The financial system is going to go from us being able to see it to us being able to use it anywhere. We see real estate, we see a bank, we see the bank branch we go to deposit our money, we see the ATM machines. We're going to carry it around with us in the future. It'll be on our ring, it'll be on a credit card, it might be in a chip in our brain, who knows? But uh, the point is that I don't know if people realize, for example, the United States spends billions of dollars a year to make money, the physical money we use. Think about that for a minute. We spend tons of money to just make the money that we carry around with us. We employ thousands of people that do nothing but make money so they can ship it out to banks so banks can give it to depositors. It's a foolish game in a world of technology. It just cannot stand its own weight in a world that moves as fast as we're going to start moving. So it is a very obvious outcome that money has to change. The financial process, the financial network of the world has to change. It has to be fair. It has to be centralized in a way that there's not 75 different currencies, because that's how countries pit against each other. It's how inflation exists. When you go to a single body of currency and everybody gets the same one, a lot of things start happening that make everything much more fair. And by the way, inflation vanishes. Inflation will no longer be a thing.
Absolutely. And I want to stop real quickly here. Everybody, I know I said retweet and like the stream. I appreciate you guys for doing that. I'm seeing a lot of people do that. But I really quickly want to do a quick plug of Max's Twitter. First of all, I want everybody on this stream. You're already on Twitter. Go to Team Six Crypto. Follow my boy Max. We just started getting his Twitter up and running here. With the nice bio. He's doing some nice tweets here. Going to put out a lot of the insight that you're hearing on these streams into tweet form. Him and I are going to do some videos, all that good stuff. So definitely shoot him a follow, as well as everybody on the panel here. I know we're doing a lot of questions between me and Max here, but everybody else on the stream adds a lot of value. We got my boy Danksy Rhodes, who's on. A lot of times we have Furloco and my boy Yoni as well. But follow everybody who's on the panel here as well. And then obviously a lot of you are from the Telegram channel. But if you're here on Twitter, I spent a lot of time in the Boss Man Calls Telegram channel when I'm not on Twitter. My boy Bossman and I have been working together since I think like 13, 14 months, from 300 members up to like 40,000 now. And besides great trade ideas and all that, I think we put a lot of emphasis on education and doing different streams like this. So definitely go and check that out. It's in my bio, and actually I think on the link on the title of this as well. Pull up in there and definitely check that out as well. But I want to go. I see Dino says Max is so base. The stream has been great. I appreciate that, Dino. Thanks for being on, man. Justin Sir says following already. I saw another one on here. Dr. Tom says lost a lot in crypto, but I'm now just learning from the best and observing before investing. Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. You gotta just keep learning, keep learning from your. It's just really about time in the game for me. I mean, I think the biggest superpower in crypto in general is just time in the game. Like you could be the smartest person in the world, be super, you're super dialed. But it really takes like actually experiencing these corrections, experiencing losing money, experiencing all this to really be ingrained in like seared into your brain, and all that. So, dude, you're in the right place. I appreciate you for being on the stream.
We're getting numbers on TikTok as well. 1,000 likes right now. I'm just
You're
watching
kidding.
this. No, I'm not. I'm just watching this shit like in real time. 1,000 likes. I think there's been 400 people on the stream so far that viewed it, and there's like
Amazing.
a couple 10, 20 people sticking around.
Hell yeah,
we've all wanted to be TikTok famous, right? Now we are.
Yeah. Hell
Dude,
yeah.
I'm gonna be a fucking KOL, dude. They make hella money. Hella fast. I'm
But
telling you right now, they make
if you're
so much.
listening to us on, sorry, Dempsey. Go ahead.
No, go. You're good. You're good.
My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother. But I was gonna say, if you are on TikTok right now, appreciate you for being on. Definitely check us out on Twitter as well. We're running it on my Twitter right now on Bren Trades, but everybody on here, definitely check them out. We appreciate you for being on TikTok. If you guys have any comments, questions on there, I think Danksy will be watching the chat as well. So
Yeah, I'll relay the information for sure.
Abdur, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce your name, brother, but you said thanks guys for information. What geez. Yeah, bro, thanks for being on. We got Panda. What's up, Panda? Pachetto, I think Pachetto has a question about AI, but I can't really find it.
What do you guys think about the new coins coming out? Gronk coin, they kind of shit the bed, but I got some quick scalp on that AI coin. Technically an AI coin.
Grok?
Grok coin, like Grok coin? Grok coin? GR. Okay.
The new Grok 3 from Elon.
Yeah, from Elon. I don't think it's this one. It's the other one. It's a Gronk coin. Yeah, type in coin, I think, afterwards, too.
Space?
No space.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Pleb says, great stream, guys. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate you, brother. We'll be on again on we're not done too, by the way. We have at least 30 more minutes, but great. Yeah, we'll be on Tuesday again as well. Justin says, I do remember Bossman said some time ago that if you don't lose everything, you're not ready to make. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to aim for losing everything, but it's a common story, at least in crypto. Most people have at least lost it all, or lost a significant amount now. Before they make money, doesn't mean everybody does, but Bay says, Brent, can we talk about gaming, AI, and crypto? Yes, we'll definitely talk about gaming and AI. Max, have you been adding to some AI, the more AI tech coins lately, and then the gaming stuff, or have you not started doing that yet? Max, can you hear me, brother?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear the question. Go ahead.
Bay just brought up about gaming and AI and crypto. I know we were talking about that with stuff about Alex Becker. Have you started adding to the AI? Have you been adding to the AI coins lately? The AI tech coins, the stuff that like Becker's been talking about.
I mean, a little bit, but again, I'm mainly, in the big deep coins. So obviously AI and real world asset is going to be a very, very significant part of the future. But again, it's hard to have 4,000 AI things that are going to matter. So you got to really recognize that until a few show their depth, you're really sort of throwing against the wall and hoping a few stick.
Yeah, that makes sense. Gotcha. Yeah, especially I feel like we're pretty early on the RWA stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
very early. But with that being said, I could see a shift back towards a lot of those the alt stuff. AI. I mean, maybe there might be a narrative there. But yeah, I agree. I think overall we're pretty early on the RWA stuff, and it'll be a bubble, big bubble for most of the RWA stuff. Doesn't mean there won't be any opportunity, but yeah, no, I agree.
Well, I just talked. I just had two conversations this morning with two different law firms to build our first crypto hedge fund. We're going to
Wow.
raise about 100 million from clients, but you'll see a lot of those, and then that doesn't. Obviously, those are all long-term holders, so
Mhm.
it's another avenue of ownership that is going to sort of use these things as asset holdings for long periods of time.
Amazing. And so for those type of hedge funds, they have like when they're coming on with you, like a certain lockup period that they have to like where they can't withdraw.
Typically,
Type.
yeah. Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. Perfect. Yeah, so I mean, let's just kind of summarize maybe if you came on here, last 10 or 20 minutes, I think what Max is really trying to what all of us are trying to get across here, especially on the majors, is to just deploy patience, whether we're in this correction for another month, 2 months, whether it looks like a 6 month correction like 24, which I think is probably the most likely, like the next couple months, we probably bottom out, whether we're in here for 8 or 9 months, to really just let this thing play out. There's so much positive stuff going on in the background, and not just like one and done, like little blow off top catalyst, but stuff that's going to make sure crypto is here decades from now. I think Max put it perfectly last night that nobody's going to fucking question Bitcoin again with all the players and the people behind it. Where we just got to let this thing play out, and not, I know it's bad because a lot of people are just fully ported into memes, and we're kind of just hoping that Bitcoin goes back up so that your memes will survive. But to really just let this thing play out and not sweat on the day to day as much.
Can I just say one more thing on perspective?
Of course.
Because we mentioned this last night, Bren. I think I asked you last night to look back on the chart and see the first day that Bitcoin went above 80 grand.
November 9th. Yeah.
And now just look at that chart for a minute. Take a bigger, wider view, so you cover more time. It's just the last top part of that chart where Bitcoin has lived above 80 grand.
Yep.
And one has to say to themselves, okay, so what else has happened in the last 100 days? Well, Bitcoin's been around for a decade and a half. And just the last 100 days, we went above 80. And just the last 100 days, Wall Street is jumping all over this. And just the last 100 days, guys like Larry Fink are saying, move out of the way because I'm going to own it all. Just the last 100 days, you've got a president who has already signed a law that says we're going to have a Bitcoin reserve. Just 100 days. So if you're thinking something should have happened by now, well, then you're not paying attention to the right thing. You just got to let this thing unfold. The game is set. You just have to be willing to let it unfold.
Okay. I love that. I love that. I think that that'll help a lot of people who are just really, fucking panicked right now. But just zoom out, like you said, dude, Bitcoin's only been above 80K for 4 months. Just comparing to where we were at sentiment wise, like Max said, when last time we were at 80K, just ask yourself, does that make sense with everything that's going on? So I love that. Brand, can we talk about, yeah, we'll look at, like I said, we'll look at that. Based that there's so many good tech that can bring great change in the space, but it's hard to spot them. Yeah, I think the tech and all the apps and all that stuff will work itself out. But great point. Justin says, "Yo, Bren, what are your thoughts on White? It was pumping real good. Now I heard they say it rugged." Danksy, did you buy White at all?
No, I think we talked about it last on Tuesday. It was like the White Rock shit. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it didn't. That's like a normal correction, no? I mean, it's steep, but it's normal.
Yeah, I think I don't, all I know is I've always seen the chart, and my boy Yoni like showed it to me at like 90 million. But besides everything, I think there's a lot of FUD going on that the dev might be like a past rugger and all that. I don't know. I don't know too much about that. I don't like to get too into the weeds, especially I didn't buy the coin, so don't know much about that, Justin. I don't know. I don't know too much about White. I know that they're doing a little bit of tokenized stock stuff, but to me, the website looked pretty basic. But I'm not too much into it to know. The correction could go either way, man. This is pretty steep and impulsive, but bro, I really don't have a strong opinion on this either way, bro. If you're in it, I hope it does well for you. But right now, just in general, I'm not too big on the low cap stuff in general. But I mean, this is not really too low cap anymore. It's at 267 mil. Is at a billion at one point. But I mean, just anything right now is on hard mode essentially. You're fighting a lot of headwinds, um, especially with low cap coins. To where if you have any type of profits, man, I would be very aggressive with taking them. And yeah, that would be my about to say about that. But I mean, really, man, my view is I do think we're looking at a correction that's pretty going to end up playing out pretty similar to correction of 2024. If it doesn't, I don't really care. If it takes 8 months, 9 months, I'm going to be here no matter what. Like Max is saying, I'm really not sweating too much the short term. But so far, chart wise, it does look a lot like the summer of 2024. Either way, I do think over the next year, Q2, Q3, we probably do see some type of bottom, and I do see a strong year for crypto. The most explosive leg yet, I think, is going to be see a very explosive leg up on this next one with everything the stage being set. Especially since I don't think we touched on this now, but all these announcements from the states buying Bitcoin, Texas talking about buying Bitcoin, like Max was saying last night on our stream, this is just talks. Like nobody's actually bought this Bitcoin yet, right, Max? Like this is all just
Right.
preliminary talks. I think this next leg up, Danksy, I don't know if that's can you mute that.
I got it.
Uh, oh, that's you. My bad. Um, but all these, what I was trying to say is, this is just preliminary. Nobody's actually bought this Bitcoin yet. I think on this next explosive leg up, there's going to be a super explosive leg up when these people actually do buy this Bitcoin. I think it's going to be a perfect storm for just really, a great year. How high do we go? Do we go to 150K, 200? Who knows? But I am very bullish on 2025 for not just crypto, but for NFTs. A lot of different stuff I think is going to be, again, fueled by this regulatory clarity that's coming from the crypto summit and beyond. So, yeah, I think we just need to let this thing play out. As far as meme coins, I know a lot of people, I don't trade much of the low cap stuff. I've probably traded fucking 5 pump fund coins ever. But I think in general, like I said a second ago, market's on super hard mode right now. That type of stuff has a time if you're into that type of stuff, but I don't think that's right now. What I'm doing meme coin wise and in general is I'm accumulating the top, I think, 4 or 5 coins that have been through these big ass corrections before. The Gigas, the SPXs, the Mogs, the coins for Giga, for example, has been through these corrections. This will be the 6th time it's been through the 70% correction just in the last 13 months alone. So it's been through these corrections before every single time. Supplies going into stronger hands, communities getting stronger. So I think not only is Giga, SPX, Mog, these coins now have the best chance of going back up, but sustaining the 2, 3, 5, 10 billion market caps if we get the conditions right for that. So yeah, I'm not overcomplicating it. I think this is the closest thing to like investing in meme coins. I know it's not investing at all. It's not Bitcoin or ETH trading, but buying and holding the coins that have been around for a year plus, who have been through these corrections before. Those are the ones I'm buying again. Giga, SPX, Mog probably being the most undervalued, like best risk to reward one right now, with how strong the community and how much mind share there is in crypto. It's on Coinbase and all that. Yeah, down 70 or 80%. Sounds crazy, but again, just got to look that Mog has been through a 70% correction. This would be its second one. I mean, maybe the third one just in the last year alone. And then you just look back, multiple 90% corrections in the past. I remember this is when I first got into Mog. It really like got me into meme coins. And, I remember I posted a tweet, that I got like 20K views instantly, a bunch of people rating. And I, started to see, okay, like there really is, stuff to this meme coin, meme coin stuff. And then, Mog obviously went on a 40x run after this. So these coins have been through this before. Those are the ones that I'm buying. Mog, SPX, Giga, Ticker Bitcoin. These are the ones I think that are not only, going to survive, but have the best chance at really getting to those high market caps when it's time. So I'm going to look at the chat. Bitcoin 89,000. Yeah. Pachetto says true. I think it's much better time to buy the majors right now instead of low cap. Yeah. I think it's better to not overcomplicate it in general and just buy the stuff that's proven itself. Panda says it looks normal when you zoom out. Armstrong says learning a lot. I'm glad. Alvin says look at Ticker Bitcoin. I got you, brother. Shout out to Alvin though, bro. I appreciate the support, man. Let's see. I have to. I swear, someone needs to tell Dex Screener to put the ETH pair or the Sol pair at the top. Why do I have to go all the way down to find this shit? There it is. There's probably some kind of filter that I'm not using, but yeah, Ticker Bitcoin under 100 million is fucking nuts. Again, as long as meme coins don't completely go to zero from here, which I don't think they do. The only way I think they'd go to at least all of them, like go to zero, even these strong names, is if we entered some kind of quote unquote bear market for Bitcoin. I don't see that happening from here again, as we went over in the show. So something like Ticker Bitcoin, been consolidating here now for almost a month. Big ass correction, but pretty corrective versus a lot of the other ones. I do think Bitcoin does have a strong year. And will reach billion, 2 billion, probably 5 billion if we do get like a really strong meme coin season. So I don't know, the upside, who knows, but I think it's in a very good place. I think not overcomplicating it right now, buying these coins that have been around for a year plus, who have been through this shit before, I think is a no-brainer move as far as meme coins go. But yeah, I really like Ticker Bitcoin here, Alvin. Just one of the strongest communities, great supply distribution. Pretty thick liquidity pool, from what I understand. Did they like take liquidity out of it? Because I swear it used to be not as thick. But anyway, or thicker. But anyways, I like Ticker Bitcoin here. But yeah, Rhodes, are you still with us, brother?
Yeah, always.
Just making sure. And dude, brother, feel free to chime in whenever. We always love your questions and insight too. I know Max and I were
cooking. You guys were on one, so I wasn't gonna, I appreciate the additional layer of insights that we haven't had here, so it's excellent.
Amazing. Let me see here. Mike, I appreciate you for sharing the stream, brother. Again, guys, just to do a quick reset, we do these streams twice a week, Tuesday and Friday. Max, my Rhodes, Danksy for Loco, a few others of I have been doing these for 8 months now. From going, back down here in like August, July, when nothing was going on, kind of what we're, in the period we're in now, kind of equivalent to just an absolute explosion in winter and fall, with NFTs popping off now, which we were looking at the beginning of the show. It's been a blessing to do these streams, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do them all year, continuing to improve the quality. We'll have face cams, more interviews, and great guests coming on soon. But yeah, we got another probably 20-30 minutes on here. I do want to look at NFTs actually. Rhodes, I think you said on Fridays you do have access to your screen, or do you want me to share it?
That's correct. Yeah, I can share. Just give me 1 second here.
Perfect. And again, we still will be looking at the chat. If you have any questions about NFTs or memes or anything like that, I'll touch on that after. But yeah, let's look at some NFTs, man. Let's see here. How's everyone? I'm doing well, Crypto Comrade. How you doing, Bilal? Wasi Kid, what's up, King? He says, King, what's up, brother? Cody, what's up? 1.5K on here. I love that.
All right. So NFTs. What I find really interesting here is we are in this period of really low volume. And that's not what I find interesting. I mean, volume is low prior to where we were in November, prior to the rally in volume, and where NFTs kind of had that 2-month rally. But what I find interesting here is the buyer to seller ratio has crept up, and now we're seeing pretty consistently on a regular basis here more buyers than sellers on NFTs. So to me, it feels like a bit of accumulation, whether that's smart money, whether that's current whales of projects adding to their positions. And with that, and let me just zoom up here a bit here, scroll up a bit. You can see up in this corner of the chart there, if they're adding to their bags overall. But last time we seen this metric be over one was when we were really in the strength of the market back in 2021. So this is something really to watch, and could be a precursor to NFTs starting to gain momentum again. I still think we need catalysts, and I still think we need things to move. But as Brent has said in the past, where you want to place your bets right now is on the teams and operators that really are strong. Like your Lucas, like your Garys, etc. on their teams, and place those bets because those NFTs are looking to rally here as the market kind of sorts itself out through this bit of turmoil that we're in right now. So that's a really interesting metric for me. OpenSea continues to maintain overall NFT share. Again, most of the small projects trade on OpenSea. When you look at general market share, it's mixed in there. A lot of activity from punks and punks activity. You can see on here the couple spike days on there. I think the punk sweeps that happen, again, another really good precursor to when the market moves. Last time the market moved by a kickoff of ape sweeps that happened, and that got everyone kind of excited. So watch for those kind of events. I'm not sure if the punk sweep is something that pushes the market, but something like an ape sweep, I think, can. You see these wallets load up with $15-20 million and just start buying up. That's the kind of catalyst that can start to move the market. Overall, over the last 6 months, basically flat. So we've seen our 2-month rally, and now we're back to where we were, both down 1% on the blue chip side of things, which is pretty crazy. I mean, it feels like we're down a bit on NFTs, but we're right back to where we were. Apes are up a little bit from where they were in the past. Penguins are kind of basically flat. So you kind of see that move. Azuki down, but generally speaking, still kind of right where we were last time. Over the last 30 days, CloneX and Moonbirds are kind of the sole winners. Those are two that really sold off due to more bearishness. Moonbirds, obviously the forgotten child for the Yuga ecosystem, and CloneX, where Nike kind of sunsetted them up. VeeFriends, good question,
bro. That would be at the top. How you have? Damn, what setting you got that shit checked off, dude?
I think VeeFriends isn't in there, and the reason being,
35%.
Yeah, you're right. The reason being was I think they were pulled out due to lower volume. When I updated my last blue chip list, I'm going to have to go ahead and update it again. But that's one thing that VeeFriends doesn't have a lot of, is a ton of volume. Now, I say that, but there are some other projects in here that also don't have a lot of volume. So, maybe there's a little bit of Rhodes bias in this blue chip index. So let me revisit that, and we can update it. So
no worries. And before we go on, Bill, for sure. No, that's all good. Bill said Max was saying that RWA would be NFT based. Yeah, we talked about that last night. We'll definitely get Max's insight really quickly on how he kind of sees that playing out. But yeah, I mean, I think it's exciting to see VeeFriends come up, almost flip to Zuki for a second, which is absolutely nuts. With very, Gary has been super active again talking about the NFTs, and pretty much, they have a big Topps Chrome release card thing that's going to be in like every major Topps retailer. But he's made clear that the biggest objective with the physical collectibles is to funnel people into the main thing, which is the NFTs. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is I do think there's going to be a second NFT bowl, but people don't understand that the NFT holders, the 10,000 plus. I know there's a lot of other holders in the secondary collections. The 10,000 true fans that are actually holding these NFTs, that's what's going to drive the IP forward, and get these IPs to the top. And I think that again, Gary's just started to talk about everything. VeeFriends almost at 2 ETH without any coin yet, without any really major announcements. For those listening, they've really hinted at a lot of stuff coming on the back end, crypto related. I personally think there's going to be Vcoin. I think they're going to, Gary's just perfect with timing and very strategic. I think that's going to come eventually, and I think they're going to tie it into the physical collectibles and do a lot of cool stuff there. But yeah, I'm super bullish on VeeFriends. I'm a top 10 holder in both collections. Again, for me, Roads Top put it on. Touched on it earlier. I think the only thing that drives any of these things long term is the operator, the person behind it. And I think just like Gary's just the top operator in NFTs. And a lot of people say, oh, the last few years he hasn't been doing a lot. But again, they've been building in the background with the physical collectibles while the demand for NFTs was low. Now the demand's increasing. They're doing more in the Web3 space. So I personally think VeeFriends is going to be I think it's going to be number 2 to Punks. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people. I think it's going to the top again because of the operator. Gary's said the whole time that if the government allows him, that he'd like to tie physical businesses, his future businesses he does, different stuff to offer to VeeFriends holders. And if you've been listening, they've been talking about tokenizing businesses, all this different stuff. So what I'm trying to get at is I think that all this regulatory clarity not only is going to help VeeFriends, but a lot of these other great operators do a lot of stuff, experiment, offer a lot of utility to holders. So I'm just super bullish on NFTs in general, especially VeeFriends. So Series 2, I think, is at 0.05 right now. If you're looking at a low entry into a really great community as well as a project with a lot of upside, I would check that out. Curry says, go ahead.
Sorry, this VeeFriends chart is an excellent highlight of how NFTs tend to move, right? You see this rally back in December, and that's when Gary kind of first got around the timeline. They rallied up and had this huge run. Then they kind of had this period of retracement, and then another huge run, right? And so you look for that. And that's the hardest part about timing NFT markets is unless you know the news coming out or are getting some kind of early indications, then you're best to bet on your teams and bet on them early throughout the retracement, and then wait and hold for that rally.
Absolutely. Great points. Panda says VeeFriend community seems very active and they'd probably just hold instead of trading. Yes, that's what the biggest thing is like. And that's what Gary is really is implementing is like a lot of collectability. People like, first of all, VeeFriends has 200 and something characters, whereas every other NFT project is just one character and kind of just traits on top of it. People are really falling in love with the characters and actually becoming collectors of these things, which you don't see in a lot of these projects. So great point. Curry says NFT season back. Not yet, but I do think there's going to be some type of something that happens. I made a tweet the other day, pretty much saying that there will be a second NFT bull led by top 2021 IP projects like we're talking about with VeeFriends, not Punks, VeeFriends, Pudgies, Azuki, whatever, Doodles, CryptoPunks, Meme Coin NFT, Digital Art, and Ordinals. Regulatory clarity, RWI adoption, and maybe something like GTA 6 could all be the sparks, but like it'll probably be something we don't expect, right? Like it usually is. So I do expect another NFT bull run in 2025, 2026. Again, probably sparked by the regulatory clarity and allowing a lot of these founders to experiment with stuff without having to worry about the SEC breathing down their fucking necks. So Max, are you still with us? I don't know. Maybe he stepped away.
Someone asked about chimpers.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Chimpers, yeah. I mean, I don't really have too much of an opinion on Chimpers Roads. I don't know if you have anything to say. I haven't really been following the project.
This another excellent team. Chimpers, is certainly one to. They've been building in this space for a long time with their various sets, and I know there's um, a decent amount of people that are pretty positive on them overall. So let's take a look at the chart.
And again, I am giving away 200 USDC at the end of the stream. I did say that in the Telegram post. I forgot to mention that. So we'll do that towards the end in a few minutes. For those of you guys that have stuck on, I appreciate you.
Good amount of consolidation here over the last month.
Yeah, I do like that.
On Chimpers, they're high at about 0.7 here over the last little while, down from a high of 2 ETH back in 23.
Makes sense.
Good opportunity. A lot of the times is get those bids out there on Chimpers. But yeah, like I said, a project that's always been looked at favorably. A strong team, building a pretty good back end story there for Chimpers. And but yeah, I don't know. Do you hold Chimpers or not, or what's kind of the story there?
No,
Me-
someone asked about it, so I wanted
Yeah.
to read it. I think
So
who asked about it? Papa Chitato. Papa
Oh,
Chitato.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, the Chimpers look pretty cool, but I hope they do well for you, Pachado. But Max was touching on something I thought was super interesting in our stream last night. The VC. Definitely follow the Boss Man Calls Telegram. Like I said, we do multiple VCs in there a few times a week. But the Max and I were talking about how he thinks it's more likely, is a pretty crazy, not a pretty interesting take, but it's more likely that companies will go with fractionalizing their stocks via NFTs before they do it via like a fungible coin. Max, do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I just think that clearly any physical asset is much easier to manage through an NFT kind of product. You can buy as small a share or as large a share of it as you want. It's always liquid. And I think in the future, you're going to find that, quote unquote, an offering might not have to be a coin, but it can be an NFT. Sometimes easier to manage, not as many risks to the investor, and easy to track.
Makes sense. And you were talking about it last night too. You think that pretty much everything is going to be an NFT, right? Contracts, tickets,
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. Got it. Now, and I know, do you think that plays out on more of a 3 to 5 year timeline, or like a 5 to 10?
Oh, I think it's going to evolve over the next decade.
Okay.
It's
Gotcha.
certainly been my most bullish aspect towards NFTs is the digital ownership attachment to a physical good. I think it's inevitable, and it makes trading physical collectibles or validating or verifying a physical is actually an official item, like just so good. So those aspects I think will continue to grow, and then basic NFTs, just because they were earlier, I think get a bit of value in that as well. But yeah, I mean the physical NFTs are really the most game changing part of the technology there.
Absolutely.
I think you're right. Yep.
100%. Somebody asked about the Zero Born NFTs, man. Yeah. It came down as you'd expect, just with the coin, under one SOL. I'm actually surprised it held under actually at 0.3. But I mean, obviously, meme coin NFT thesis I think is going to play out with the Sprotos, the Aeons, and stuff like that, with the solid communities. Now, I would say the Zero Born NFTs will come back if the Zero Bro coin comes back. Which, it's looking very impulsive. I'd like to see the Zero Bro coin consolidate as Bitcoin finishes out this correction. If it can consolidate and hold this low for like a month or so, I've seen coins come down this hard and then recover. It's not my strongest or my highest conviction bet by any means, But the Zero Born NFTs that you're holding at this point, I think you're really hoping that the Zero Bro coin comes back. To me, I don't have a strong opinion on whether it will or not. I think it's about 50-50. I would say that what it does have going for it is that the operator, the guy Jeffy, has proven that he can make partnerships, announcements, make music, all that cool stuff. To where if there is demand and conditions are there for the AI stuff again, I could see him, having a resurgence. But we'll see, bro. I definitely am holding. I probably sold one or two of these as they were going up, but I'm still holding probably 8 or 9 of them as well. So I'm holding just right there with you, bro. Wow, I'm seeing everybody the follows on the stream. From the stream, we appreciate you. Definitely make sure to follow everybody on the panel. Yeah, just like with crypto, last time in August, I think we're just waiting for a catalyst for NFTs. I think, maybe some big company announces some type of RWA thing, GTA 6, something. But I think it's just a matter of time. Wow, this has been an exciting stream. I know, Danksy, you're in charge. You're controlling the stream, right? So when you come off, it has to end,
No,
correct?
you guys can continue. I just gotta hop to another call, but I'll see you guys on
So
Tuesday for sure. But you guys can still continue. I think there's no main host, so you can just run it until you guys are done.
Yeah, I can shut her down afterwards there. So
Yeah.
perfect. We'll stay
good.
on for another 10 or 15. But yeah, man, feel free to hop off whenever. Danksy, we always love you having you on, bro. Thank you
Bro,
so
I
much.
was like, my internet was like rogging for like 15 minutes. I was gonna say some shit, but love having you guys on, Max. Loving your insights. Hopefully you're a regular at the show because, I mean, people. If you're not reading the chat, people love you here. So people love you here the whole
Thanks,
time.
man. Good to see everybody.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, Danksy.
So yeah,
All right, yeah. So we'll hang out for a little bit here longer, maybe 10 or 15 more minutes. Were you gonna say something, Rose?
I don't think so.
Oh, my
actually.
bad. I thought you.
I think I was gonna talk about Zero Born NFTs as well, and I think same sentiment. You're looking for Zero Born to rally back for those NFTs to see some success, unless the meme coin and the team kind of pivots into the NFTs. There's no real catalyst for them.
Right on. Makes sense. Justin says, thanks, Max. Really love you, sir. Love the entire B3L team. Love you, Bren. Love you too, Justin. Thanks for being on, bro.
Thanks, man.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, Max is definitely a regular on the show. Whenever he's available, he'll be on. So we always love it. It just adds a whole nother dynamic to the show. So thanks, Max, Rhodes, Danksy, and Bren for the love and education, guys. Thanks for always being on, Umber. Anything coming out of the crypto summit yet? I don't even think. I haven't been looking, but I don't even think so. I feel like we would be.
Well, if they're smart, they won't say anything.
Yeah, if it was up to Max, they would just shut their mouth. So we should. Hopefully, we don't hear anything.
I think you ought to interpret no news as good news.
Yeah, you're right. I think a lot of people now we've been kind of like spoiled or cursed, whichever the way you want to look at it, with having so much going on. Big events happening in the last few months where I feel like, or the last year, where everybody feels like there has to be some crazy catalyst to send prices back up. When in reality, that's not what we want. We don't want these blow off top crazy catalysts. I think where most of these bottoms end up happening is narrative follows price, where we bottom out one day and then slowly good news starts to come in. But I feel like when you get these high expectation news events where crazy stuff happens, it just creates tops and over expectations. And
The market's full of a lot of hopium overall, right? Like, everyone's expecting that something is coming to kind of describe their bullishness, etc., rather than just letting the market kind of play out. And so that's where you get all this overreaction, right?
Yeah, precisely. Yep.
exactly.
Plus, when you when you fill your mind with expectation, you create a rigidness that sort of sets you up for disappointment, and that never helps.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I'm just gonna give away 300 total on the stream to people who I've seen be on here. We're gonna give it to Panda. He's always supporting. And again, guys, I appreciate you being on here. I wish I could give money to everybody. I want to do EUBUB. I've seen you on the stream here, and then let's do Dr. Tom. You get some great questions today too. So all three of you, Dr. Tom, Panda, and EUBUB. DM me.
Bubby.
E
Booby.
Sorry if
That's a
we're
hard one.
joking.
Bubby Bubby.
Yeah, you're E-Booby now on the stream. But
Booby.
yeah, E-Booby 01. But no, we appreciate
Congrats, guys.
Definitely DM me either on Twitter, Telegram, whatever's easier for you guys. We'll get you over that USDC today. But I will close out in probably 5 or so minutes. But we appreciate you guys again so much for being on. If you stayed this far with us, 1.7K people have been on here total. I wish Twitter would show us concurrent viewers, but really appreciate you guys for being on. Again, we will be on here again on Tuesday at 1 p.m. PST. Fridays, every Friday like today at 10 a.m. We do it a little bit earlier. Again, PST. Definitely follow everybody on the panel that's tagged. Turn post notifications on for my account so you see the streams. Follow the Telegram. Check out everything the B3L guys are doing. And then definitely everybody on here right now, you're already on Twitter. Go follow my boy Max here. Trust me, it'll be worth it. A lot of great info coming from this guy. So definitely give him a follow. Same with my boy Rotes as well here as well. We need to get him tweeting more, but hell yeah. I appreciate you guys. Anything else? Let's see. Justin says, congratulations, guys. Thanks, bros. Brojam, again, thank you. Great question earlier as well. Brojam asked me a question in the DMs, Max. Again, we'll focus on the positive ones, but he was asking what are some crypto coals or quote unquote coals. I don't like using that term, but like just people in crypto in general that you like to follow. I know you like Alex Becker, but any few other names that you really respect?
You know, I probably am too new to that to be legitimate. But certainly it's been clear to me that Alex tends to shoot pretty straight. I mean, if you read his stuff, he readily admits, gigantic risk, long-term investor. You're not going to make it if you try to trade. So I don't think anybody would be hurt by, reading a few of his things. But again, I'm probably not as much into that side of it as a lot of other guys are.
Fair enough, man. No, I agree. I really like Alex. A lot of people, I think, misunderstand him from seeing clips and stuff that he likes to joke around and do shit posting. But if you look at actual videos, 100% straight shooter, very very smart guy, and I've learned a ton from him and Leo Trades, who actually worked together for a long time as well. So Leo Trades, Alex, definitely follow Max, and then stuff like Gareth Soloway, another guy who's kind of been in the game for 25, 30 years, I think. Really like finding people. Not everybody with time in the game is great, but I think learning from people who have lived through these different things have always how I've learned the most, man. Like the only reason I know any of this stuff, I don't have a finance background. I don't, know traditional schooling, is just learning from people who have lived through this shit, like Max, watching hours, like really, especially years ago, watching, 2-hour long podcasts with people who have lived through this different stuff, answering questions. That's where all the golden nuggets are. And information is in those long form podcasts or listening to streams like this with people like Max. That's how you're able to learn these different things without actually living through these. That's the closest thing to actually living through it. So that's definitely what I would say as well. People with time in the game, people who have done all that. So AUBZ Fu says late but solid stream. Appreciate you. I think is that my boy? They have different names. No, I don't know. But either way, Sproto brother, I appreciate you. EU Boob says always following Max. I appreciate you. Yeah, EU Boob, however you say your name. Definitely DM me for the USDC. Let me look at Twitter real quick. Hell yeah, appreciate you guys for sharing and everything like that. We will be back here on Tuesday. With that being said, Rotes, Matt, any closing thoughts before we sign off?
Have a good weekend.
Excellent as always.
Yeah. Good to see everyone.
Awesome. So yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday. Definitely follow Bossman Calls Telegram. Max and I will be back on another stream on Sunday and there. And then we'll be back on Tuesday for the Twitter stream. Rotes, Max, love you guys, and I appreciate you for being on. And,
See you guys.
Love you guys too.
Peace.
Appreciate it.
Later.